Boys is getting quiet. Go on and get crunk. Head back to Longview, Kelly popping trunk. I ain't even tripping. Riding and I'm sipping. Let me come through, 4-4, steady tipping. On that new lap. Watch the trunk crack. Let me sit sideways, CB running back. Maybe AP, maybe AD. I ain't even tripping cause we some athletes. Messing with Smitty in the summertime. He get pissed if we don't make our time. But we gon' get it, cause we gotta finish. Nebraska Horn Hustlers, man, we diminished. Put them boys little, paint like a skittle. I ain't even tripping, I ain't never double dribble. Cause I'm a player from the Himalaya. Let me sit sideways, man. Maybe back door, maybe fall off. Sipping codeine cause I gotta kill a cough. Let me sit sideways in the big Benz. Oh, you boys, they my brothers, they my friends.
All right. Welcome into Fullback U, and I just had to have a great coach on today because I mean, with everything that went on, Jarrail Jackson, how you feeling, sir?
Man, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm not as good as Mike Leach is doing, but I'm probably doing better than the staff is at OU. We're gonna talk plenty about both of those. Oh yeah, I see you representing.
You gotta
be proud. You gotta be proud.
Hey.
But you're a Sooner first, so we got to talk about it.
I'm a Sooner at heart, man, and you know, yesterday was, it was hard. It was hard.
Yeah.
I just think, like we talked, man, it comes down to, like I said before, kids know the tradition of what's going on. If you really know the tradition of that State and Oklahoma rivalry,
man,
it ain't no way. Now, and I'm not trying to call him out anyway, but there's no way as a coach I'm gonna come on social media and be proud of what I did shutting out Missouri State. I'm not going to put that out there. Understanding the rivalry between K-State and Oklahoma. Them dudes that go to K-State are mostly Oklahoma dudes from Tulsa who felt like they should go to Oklahoma. And it's always been a rivalry. And it's been a physical game, even when we was there. But that goes back to, I got to understand where I'm at. I got to understand what program I'm in. I mean, beating Missouri State, that's a given. I mean, what Bob would say, you just beat East Popcorn
State. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I think a lot of it, man, just kids got to go back to understand the tradition of playing at Oklahoma.
Man, you mentioned it. And we took a hard L, just the same way to K-State. But the one thing that I would say that our team, Jarrail, and we knew we had a rematch against them cats up in their house, and we wasn't losing that game. We was going up there. It didn't matter what the circumstance was. We knew we was going to fight. Jarrail, my thing to you as a coach is this. Let's just get to it. Everybody's going to look at our run game. Did you see the sets? My question is this. Did we put ourselves in good enough position run blocking wise? Is our line there? Do you feel like we can get it done by having wide receivers block? What'd you think about the running back? Just go over the offense first.
I think offensively wise, he came out and he threw his shots. I mean, they went at him. And I think if you look at K-State was down 5 DBs. I mean, throwing the football. I think up front, our offensive line had trouble with those guys. Those guys up front. And you got to understand, again, K-State going to play us hard. Those guys, that's a blue-collar team, and they came to work up front. And I think the guys up front for K-State took the challenge on that back end was we're going to be reeling. And them dudes got after it and made the youngster. I mean, he wasn't comfortable in the pocket, and then they got him out. I think maybe Lincoln probably could have helped him a little bit more by putting him on the run with some sprint outs and stuff like that. But then it came down. But I think it come down to those receivers got to make plays. I mean, just put the ball up in the air and make plays. I don't know how confident they are with those guys so young, but and we don't know what they might have had hampered. Some guys might have been COVID issues or something like that didn't play. But you would think, knowing that they down in the secondary, I'm going to come out and throw the football because that's my strength. And I think, we just should have kept attacking and just kept attacking. I think we got up 35, and I think those guys got complacent. I mean, if you look on the sideline, like I know, if it was a Bob team and we was up and them dudes start coming back, he going to call timeout. He going to bring the team together, and he'll let you have it. I just didn't – and I ain't saying nothing about him. I just didn't see nobody go off on the sideline, whether it was a coach, whether it was a player. I just didn't see it. Like, it wasn't there. And that's something that bothers you as a coach if you don't have, like, if it ain't no, I mean, you got 9,000 people running up down the sideline. You got somebody waving the flag. You got somebody waving the towel. You got all that. But who gonna bring the fire for you? Like for us, we knew Schmitty was gonna come in there. He didn't give a damn. Schmitty was gonna jump in your face and he was gonna cuss you out. And also, it was the fear factor of losing, having to face Schmitty Sunday morning in their weight room.
Man.
I just don't know where it comes from. I know me personally as a coach, I probably would call my receivers to the side and got after them. It's just something that you just don't see it. You just don't see it. And then, I think they thought they could run the football. I really think they did. That's why they got no sets. And I think he was trying to protect I think he's trying to protect the young kid as much as possible and get him going. But I just think those guys at K-State up front just took the challenge on, man, and brought it to us.
Man, they did. And I think you look at, before we get into some advanced stuff, I mean, Jarrail, I just look at the sounds that I heard from the K-State's defense, the pow, pop, the laying hits, and then I look at how many guys are there of ours that they took out. I mean, guys that are calling, hey, I need to something. The Mims kids hurt, Stogner's hurting, the Willis kids hurting, the McGowan's kid, they hit him. Their linebackers tackled one-on-one incredibly. Again, just going back into that. Going forward, Jarrail, how do you run the ball? The offense that you saw yesterday, is it substitutions that need to happen? Is it just they go back to the drawing board? What do you think?
I don't think they go back to the drawing board. I think he got to get to more of the quick screens where he's throwing the ball out to the outside line. Let those guys in space, get guys out the box. I think that kid is not fully grasped the whole offense where he can just throw it out there to those receivers. And I still think they're trying to find receivers on who's going to be that guy that can block on the outside. Who's the bubble guy? Who's the guy that can catch it and come inside? You knew last year it was CeeDee Lamb. And I think that comes from those guys got to develop. Not having the spring could have hampered them, but at the same time, those guys been there. And it come down to, man, it's the first time you got to look at it. No big time transfer has been at receiver. No big time transfer has been at quarterback. So now it's one of those things where the coaches got to dig in deep and pull it out of them. It got to be a kid there that takes it personal. I didn't see nobody take it personal on the sideline as a player. I just saw it as it started going down, them dudes started going down with it. And I think the biggest thing is them dudes talked all day. They was on Twitter from January, from the time they lost until now, about how they ready to redeem themselves, how they ready to do this, how they ready to do that. Man, just play football, dude. Just play football. When we had great defenses at Oklahoma, BV wasn't on social media or Facebook talking about how good the defenses were. These boys just lined up and play, man. And if you look at the top programs, ain't no coaches out there talking about, hey, people out. That's for fans. That's for players. It's play football. I think they got to realize where they at, man. It goes to show, the Jordan brand is a lot. It has a lot to do with it, but not really understand the tradition of what you playing for, man. That if you understand the K-State Oklahoma deal, you should know your team should be ready to go. That should be ready to go. That's
headache medicine in the training room beforehand.
Yeah, that you should know. Going to K-State gonna try to bloody your nose because a lot of those kids again are from that Tulsa area and from some Texas parts that went to K-State and was over Oklahoma, and they take that game personal. Them dudes, 22 remind me of Quentin Griffin when he first started playing with Oklahoma, and he came in with no fear. I know Coach Grinch and Coach Manning, them guys, they'll get it together. It's just one of those deals, man, where they gotta buckle down and play. Somebody come back to practice, man. Like, you can't be scared to start practice over. You've been there with Bob. If it ain't going right, so we'll go back and start over again. You can't be scared to do it. You got to take control of it. You got to instill in them, hey, they got to work. They got to grind. How much grit has they done in his stuff in the workouts? How hard is the workouts? How many times have they ever thought about, man, do I really want to do this? Is this something I really want to do? Man. I mean, that's something that you got to go back and think about.
Because all the schools are doing that. They're all doing that. Let's talk a little bit more about the defense, Jarrail. You gotta tell me. I already know. But my deal is this: I like what we're doing. I like the improvements, but I feel like we've forced ourselves into this. We have to blitz people to get pressure, and it leaves people a lot of times open and leaves us vulnerable. And and then I feel like other people don't have to pressure us. I feel like our run game mentality used to transition into our defense. Vice versa. Some days they would win, some days we would win. That hyper competitiveness was just awesome. You know, is that lacking these days? I mean, is it a facade? Is it just because K-State's just such a good ISO blocking team? Is it because they put their fullback out there and have success? Let me know.
I just think it's an identity that they create. I'm gonna ask you this: when you stepped up when we was in practice, it was always somebody on defense when we went good on good. It was a couple dudes over there. You be looking like, man.
Please no, Tommy.
Please don't call us play.
Please don't let me hit. Yeah.
I know we was in the secondary. You look back there, and they had Book on one end, they had Roy on the other end, and they was calling double slants. And you like, man, please don't just don't let him run through. And we ran all those mesh routes, and those dudes were blowing up. I can't see a dude on their defense that would even intimidate me. You know, I think a lot of it comes back to, man, they just got to play sound gap defense, man. You got to go back and you got to play your kid's strength. I think a lot of what happened yesterday, dudes just busted coverages. I mean, you got 32, dude run a go route, and look like you playing cover 2, or you like you playing quarters. You jump the out route, and dude run right by you on the go route. Then still you don't make the tackle. I think a lot of it's just not. You know, how dialed in are those guys? You know, how dialed in are they? Are they really dialed in on Saturdays, really understanding what's going on? Because, you know, us in the past has been there. You know how detailed those Reynolds and those guys was in defensive wise, and guys really did bust. But then again, if something happened in the secondary, that secondary held each other accountable for what's going on. So how important is it to the kid? Is it, I'm coming here to get mine, I'm getting out of here? Or am I coming in here to win as a team and continue the tradition of defense and keep it rolling? You know, that's what you got to look at. And you got out there, you saw guys get hit them out. I mean, we was fine as long as we was stopping them. They was 3 and out. They were struggling. We was fine. Then they hit a big play. Then they hit another big play. And it's something that comes back to, again, you know, we got 8,000 hype coaches on the sideline. They go crazy. They run up and down. They wave flags. They do all that. But you never saw none of them bring them together. Bring them together and go at it. Like, man, I mean, if you was at some of the UCO games, we was up by 25. Kid had 200 yards, but then he may have ran a wrong route. I didn't hesitate to undress him right down the sideline because that's the passion of the game. You know, Rufus could tell you he came down to Dallas and ran a wrong route. And I was right out there in his face, but you can't be scared of that. Like, you got to be able to bring that to them because them kids know they understand that you really care about them. And as you tearing them down, you coaching them at the same time. If you just sit back and just let it go, it's gonna continue to get on. And they play like that.
Yeah. I brought up headache medicine. People may laugh at that. You know, when I got to OU, I mean, I had to take one every day just because, I mean, to get a yard or two. There were a few things that what hurts me, Jarrail, and I know it's probably going to move you as well. Seeing people run power and ISO on us, man, is heartbreaking. I was you shaking your head. It's heartbreaking because of how much we mastered that and how much we went over it a variety of different ways and I mean, how many headaches we had to go through, how many this, how many that. What do you do with the team that struggles with that? Do you just beat it into their head like we have to, or try to? And or do you just say, hey man, K-State's the anomaly? We may face a little bit of that with Iowa State and just go on.
I think you got to go back and figure out what's going on. You got to put the dudes on the field that's going to play. He may not be a 4-star, but you got to develop a kid that can go in there and stop the ISO. You know, and just come up with fronts that'll help those guys up front. You know, I think they did a decent job in stopping the run. You know, and just understanding the defense. You know, they want speed defense. Okay, what kills the speed defense? A power offense that's gonna line up and run it. And they finna see it the next 2 weeks. I mean, one thing they can't do, they can't go in and tear each other down.
Man.
You got Iowa State this week, and they gonna do the same thing. And then you got to turn around. You got Texas right after that. Yeah. So it's not gonna be any, and nobody gonna feel sorry for them. And a lot of it comes to those players got to play football.
Man,
like you got to go play. And as a coach, it's your job on Saturday. If I got to motivate you on Saturday and I ain't do my job Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like, if I got to motivate you to play on Saturday, then that's something wrong. We play we play good as long as we up and things and stuff like that. As soon as we get hit with adversity, and it's been like that. We was good at LSU and got hit. We was good at K-State last year and got hit. You know, it's been like that the whole time. And some of that comes, man, I believe if you don't have it in a player, then you got coaches on the sideline. Hey, bring them together. Let's call. Hey, bring them together, and don't be afraid to address them on the sideline. Ain't nobody understands. You really go off. Ain't nobody really understands. So you can go off. I just think, and we're gonna beat it to death, But the mentality we had came from that weight room. That dude in that weight room that was there with us. That was a big part of why Oklahoma football was Oklahoma football, and got at it, So it's one of those things, man, where they got to go back to work and just figure out what's going to work for them.
Man, a few things that scared me really, and we can get off the defense, but deep ball, jump ball still scares me. I mean, we're still, and this is our best corner, and I get it. We're supposed to have safety help over the top, but we're still between, even the announcer said it, we're between 5'9" and 6 foot on the back end. Buki misses a tackle. Dive has got ankles. I mean, I get it, but it's also, I mean, to me, I mean, just my opinion. I mean, you got to make just some better form of play towards the guy's waist or something.
You got to make a play, man. And you can say 5'8", 5'9", 5'10". Derek Strait's 5'11".
Real.
He go, Mike Woods was 5'11". They Perkins. I think the only big corner we ever had that was Will Barty, and that's it. And Wolfolk, but
Wolf was 6'1", 6'2".
6'1". That's it. But we've had great corners. The safety's always been the physical guy. I think the thing that they missing is a physical identity in that back. That back end, man. It was one of those. We had elite receivers, but we also knew 7-on-7. It's a good chance Roy gonna run through your face, not get in trouble. It's a good chance he can run through your face and not get in trouble. It's a good chance on scout team that Book gonna run through your chest because he know the play coming, but he gonna run through your chest. But the mentality they had back there, you had Bob, who's heavily involved in the secondary. You had Mike, who was heavily involved. Them dudes was grimy dudes, man. That from Iowa, there from Youngstown, and the secondary took that identity of those guys, and those guys was physical. I think that's the identity they got to go back and get. You got the Trey Browns who he want to lean on his speed and all that. That's fine and dandy. But if I got great technique and I body you up, I'm gonna catch the ball all day long. I'm cool with you. I'm cool with a corner that can run because I can out physical. I hate a corner that's gonna come let me catch and put his chest right, put his pass right in my chest. That's something different. I gotta think about that.
Got to ask you this, and I don't want to phrase it a certain way because I don't want you to think of a certain school. We keep saying that the mentality is different. Okay, OU then versus OU now. If you had to, you've been around, you've coached everywhere. If you had to compare where you think our program's mentality is, where do you think, what school do you think ours is like from Bar Day, and what do you think it's like right now?
Right now, I think we kind of own that probably high level of Texas Tech and stuff like that. Just the mentality wise, as far as like, getting off the field, and the expectations. Like you expect to win at Oklahoma. You expect like Missouri State, and we're nobody gonna brag about that. You won't go hear nobody talk from the players at all. Like we weren't gonna count that. That's like we played North Texas, we blew them out. We ain't gonna count that. That's North Texas. You're supposed to win. I think from just watching it from a fan perspective, I think we go into if you a fan and you watch it, you don't go into the game feeling like we finna win this game, no matter what. You go in this game like, man, if we can play well, we can put up enough points, and our scoring, we got a chance. So I just think our identity level right now is more. I'm gonna say a Pac-12 type team, Pac-12 type offense type team. Because the Pac-12 team is known to be finesse and stuff like that. So that's what we are. I'm not gonna say another school, but we're more of a finesse type team right now. We don't have that aura that we used to have when we stepped on the field versus we step out there. You know what time it is. Like Bob can tell you, hey, don't go over there and start no mess. Nah, ain't gonna listen. We go over there and start it because we know we got the dogs to finish it. I think now dudes try to bully us. Dudes coming in our place, they trying to bully us. They talk noise at us. They go out there and cheap shot us and all that. We the ones complaining. We the ones pointing fingers and always asking for a flag and stuff like that. And it used to be like that. We was the ones that had to run away with your hands up, trying to duck, trying to dodge, so the official wouldn't find it. So I think we more on a Pac-12 team on a Washington State, Texas Tech type stuff.
I'm getting depressed, so I'm going to switch up just a little bit. But, and one thing and we've had this combo, we're going to talk about Leach. But, and one thing that I'm so passionate about us moving towards the SEC is because of, I saw a politician down in LSU or down in Louisiana blame the governor for not letting fans in. That's why they lost. I mean, you know how it is, Jarrail. I mean, they crazy about football down there, dog. I mean, a tradition-rich place like Oklahoma, like, to me, everything that you're saying tells me, like, our kids need to experience that, or we need to bring in kids that experience that shit. Like, like, when you going to play Kentucky, you better bring your A game. You going to play Vanderbilt, or you know what I'm saying? You better bring your A game. You want to play at Tennessee, A game. You going to play somewhere else, A game. Missouri, A game. It's not the same Missouri that it used to be. It's not the same A&M that it used to be. But your man Mike Leach comes up, which is takes him one game in the SEC to set all the passing records. One, how did he do it? Two, did you expect it to see? Just let me know that.
Man, one, he came in and he got a system and he ain't gonna change. Wherever he, it's always been that deal. And it's always been, if he ever got to a place that had legit athletes and put him in a recruiting rich place, he got a shot. It's been like LSU. If LSU ever get a quarterback, they got a shot. Now Mississippi, he got a shot. He got some athletes. He got some athletes.
Some of them outside receivers, my God.
He got some athletes and he get at it. And the one thing about him though, coach ain't scared to they tackled, if you listen to them, they was tackling 7-on-7 because they didn't get enough tackling time. So them dudes was out there tackling 7-on-7. So it's one of those deals where I think he's embraced the tradition of that place. And that's, again, like, he went in and he understood the tradition of Mississippi State and what he was getting himself into. They expect to win a national championship. So I think that's the biggest thing for him. Everywhere he's been, the tradition level has been low. It's been low. Here, I mean, like Washington State, they ain't won 10 years before we got there, and then we won.
Great point.
Texas Tech, they wasn't winning, before he got there. But he went to a place where, they expect you to win. And he changed some things that he done as far as a coach. Like, he comes in at a decent, he may still come in like 1, 2 o'clock, but that's decent. That's decent for him. He's changed some things. He's adapted to this program and he's embraced the tradition. It's gonna be hard now. Like, the SEC gonna be hard. Like, you can't play man to man versus that offense now. He gonna get, and he's finally out of place. Let's say he can build a defense. And I think for us, it's just those kids got to understand the tradition, man. And coming in, embracing the Roy Williams that came before you, the J.D. Reynolds, all those guys that came in before you and understand what Oklahoma football is about. And some of the coaches need to go through and look at it too. Understand, hey, look, man, like Kstate, they always play Oklahoma hard, no matter what. Like, understand the tradition, understand the receiver, understand the DB's been physical here for a long time. That D line been beast for a long time. So I think they can't go in and scrap everything. I think they just it's a soul searching thing for them, because these next 2 games, it's gonna get even. If they lose these next 2, it's gonna be worse. You understand? These fans will turn on you real quick.
Hey, that's real. That's real. I'll go ahead.
Yeah, and some of these coaches haven't experienced that. Like, they don't understand that. Man, losing 2 or 3 straight, ain't no rebuilding year. Like, they fired Gary Gibbs and he won 10. He won 10 straight. So, I mean, he won 10 games. So it's a place where now they had a place they've never been at before. Just about going in and honing in on those guys, make sure those guys come out and play, with some excitement, because you're going out. Because now here's the biggest thing: when you're playing in places with no fans, no nothing, you got to bring the energy.
Yes,
now it's on you to bring the energy.
Real.
Now you're gonna see who the real dogs are.
That's real.
See who the real dogs are. Do I got a bunch of dogs that play for the fans?
Ooh.
Dogs that can play for myself, and because it's like practice, it's like scrimmage on one. So that's what you really experiencing right now. You experiencing like, dude, the best. If you playing for your fans, you're gonna get exposed right now because whoever bring the juice and bring the energy gonna win it.
Yep. Boy, that is so real. I want to hear more about Leach. What goes into the cat and mouse game of that? I studied LSU's defense a lot last year. Obviously, they lost quite a bit. Shelvin's sitting out, but that's no excuse. But what goes into being a 5-wide team, dealing with a team that's kind of predominantly a nickel-based look? Is it just they're going to widen that linebacker out and eliminate the box and just keep safeties over top, which is what I would do in my 6th grade because we need help. But anyway, let me know.
Yeah, you just go in and try to get the best matchups. Here's something else. That man ain't never lost. That man lost one time to Bo Pelini.
Wow.
Going in that game, he knew Bo Pelini inside and out. And it's just wide now get the best matchups. If I can get you to play man-to-man versus that offense, then it's just my guys on the outside got to win. And I can probably tell you he probably ran 3 plays. He ran mesh, he ran some shallows, and he ran some 6s. Because if you're going to play man, that dude got to chase him all over the field. You got dudes running all over, and then you got a back like Kylan Hill, who he was just getting out and he was just getting them out. I mean, you got linebackers looking at everything, and so it's just a matter when you in that offense. It's just a matter of finding matchups. Just putting guys in the right situation. Sometimes I put my best receiver inside, and if they don't realize that he go to work. So it's just finding matchup problems and just doing what you do. We do this every day, 24/7, and it don't change. So we continue to do everything we do 24/7 and don't change, and just make it as simple as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then find the plays that your kids run well, that they do well, and just dress it up. We may run 4 verts 8 times in a row, but it's gonna look different each time we run it. We may run a jet sweep and fake it to them, and still run 4 verts. It's just putting those guys in the best situation possible. Not getting cute, just sticking to what you do. Sticking to what you do. And that's something I learned from him. We took our lumps at Washington State. We threw it 99 times versus Oregon. But it was just what we do. It was just what we do.
Yeah.
We didn't change. And it's just put guys, when Stingley got hurt, they went at the other kid, and that's what they did. They took turns and they went deep balls, and they ran meshes, they ran shallows. They made those guys run all over. Because you take 8 receivers, 10 in that offense, and they only got 5 DBs that's active. So we just kind of keep them running sideline to sideline and slow that pass rush down and get the ball out quick.
I wasn't going to ask this, but something just tells me to ask you this. Can he win a national championship there?
Yeah, he can.
Really?
He can. He can. Here's why he can win it. Because that state of Mississippi now, it's going to be hard now that Deion came in there. But the athletes that he got, that he can get on defense, that's what's going to give him the opportunity and the chance. Because if you look at Alabama is a 2-man team. They'll play 2-man and try to beat you up at the line of scrimmage and count they D line, they D front. In about 2 years, when he have his dudes in here, his guys in there that can really that's really fit the system. Now you understand he doing this without a spring. They had no spring.
Right.
So
and like you said earlier, adjusting the roster too. Like you said.
Yeah, adjust the roster. So when he get guys in there that's been in there for a while, he's been there for a little bit, he understands what's going on, he'll have a legit shot. And that's just like at Washington State. We went 3 years, and then then the 4th year we was 11-1. Same thing at Texas Tech. He went 3 years, and then he had that year when they was number 1 in the country, and then came to Oklahoma and got the breaks off him.
Right.
But it's gonna be a time where he gonna get it. He gonna get it going. And what it's gonna end up doing is it's gonna end up changing the SEC. Those guys gonna end up trying to mirror that offense because now he got Alabama train. What he did was he got some guys that played in that. He got the quarterback was a grad transfer that beat us to death when we was at Stanford, and then he got 2 grad transfer from Alabama, and then he had some guys that was there and just put them in a system with that running back. I mean that's hard now. I mean he got some guns now, and the biggest thing that I was worried about was will the kids truly buy into him and buy him just because of how he is. And stuff like that, but they bought into it. After that win right there, they bought into it. So the skies are limit as long as they stay healthy.
Shit, that's real. That's so real. Well, let's talk about this. Let's get back into OU. And you mentioned the next 2 games that they're going to play. How do we run the ball against them, Jarrail? How do we out physical those guys? If you're another coach, what you to me, you've got to think we can out physical these guys. You got to think we can run right at these guys. Our best chance is to run. They're going to come right at us on defense. We've got to just go right at them and put them in one-on-one situations, tackle when we get there, break tackles when we get there. Let me know what you think about us running the ball.
Run the ball, I think you just got to he got to go back. He got to be in his 10 personnel, 11 personnel sets and utilize the quick passes outside the screens to get the linebackers out the box, get them running side to side. Yeah. Then those receivers got to be able to break tackles. I mean, a lot of they was getting one-on-one tackles. Something you ain't used to seeing. CeeDee Lamb would break one for a long one. Same thing with Hollywood Brown. Those guys weren't coming. Those guys weren't going down with one tackle. So he got to get in his offense, spread them out, take advantage of the outside, throw the little quick screens, the bubbles, and stuff like that, get guys out the box. And then you just got to go to the O-line and just line up to them. Somehow. You Oklahoma. You Oklahoma. They Iowa State. We're going to run the football. Period. Point blank. That's what's going to happen. And you guys got to go in and get it done. And then on defense, same thing. They got to have that speech, man. Billy Sims came in there and yelled at us one day, this fucking Oklahoma. You know what that means? So that's what somebody got to have that speech. Tell them, hey, it's Oklahoma. That's unacceptable. Go in there and play football. Up front, the defense got to with the identity. I know we talk about speed D. That's fine, but the speed D better show up and blow up something. That's what you need now. They need to do that and fly around. And I think they'll bounce back. But again, it's gonna come back to how important in the game is it to them, because no fans, it's me versus you. How bad do you want it? I'm at Iowa State, you at Oklahoma. But right now, ain't no fans in here cheering you on to give you no boost. It's just me versus you. I think I'm better than you, so I'm gonna get it done. So, a lot of it is that. And you can see it. It's still from last year. We played games to get up, and them dudes start coming back. So it's. I think on the defense side, it's just a mentality. They got to have a finish mentality. Like, you got them up, you got to go ahead and finish them off, man. Don't let them back in the game and stuff like that. So that comes in. For us when we was there, that came in the weight room, right? We got to finish this. We got to finish through the line. He always say, finish through the line, finish through this, finish through that. So that comes back to show you, are they really finishing through the line? Are they really pushing themselves? How much grind and how much strain they doing? So after a loss like this, you got to go back and look at everything.
Yep, man. I know I've harped on it a little bit. I may have asked you twice. I apologize about that, but my thing for the fans is like, simply put, when K-State put their fullback out there, I mean, they got positive yardage. People knew that they were probably going to run the ball, and they still got positive yardage. So why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we having some set where we have our fullback back there? Or we used to do the split backs last year. We used to do a diamond at times. I mean, there was some set where you felt the run game coming, and then you actually felt the run game coming. If you want to comment on that, along with the receiver that Sean Shaw from Jones that's up at Iowa State. Are you worried about those 6'6" receivers that they got with the mismatch? What do you do defensively?
If I'm OU, I'm worried about Iowa State, because if you go back, if quarterback to the tight end, they win. They won that game last year. So you gotta take all in consideration. Iowa State, man, I'm gonna line up and I'm gonna punch in your mouth and see where you at and test Oklahoma. Right now we kind of on that deal where, if I'm looking at you, hey man, LSU lined up and punched them in the mouth, and punched them in the mouth. Okay, K-State punched them in the mouth twice. If I'm anybody else, I'm finna line up. I'm finna punch them in the mouth. I'm finna see what they about. I gotta see what they about. On offense, I think it's one of those deals where you got young receivers, young guys at young spots. So I'm not really concerned about nobody, because you didn't throw the ball down the field. You didn't. Nobody took a hitch and went 40 or 50. So I feel like I could probably play man to man with you, and make your quarterback make perfect throws. Again, he was good when he had no pressure, and dude started getting in. He got pressure on him. So if you Oklahoma, you just got to find a run game. You got to find a way to run the football. Whatever sets you got, you got to find them. Whether it's go 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, and punch them in the mouth. And I bet this week he'll probably emphasize that, those guys are up front. But it all starts with the up front mentality. Like, those guys got to come to work. Like, those guys got to come. And I think this team got to understand that nobody's looking at what you did to Missouri State. They're looking at how you finished the last game of the season, and they feel like they can punch you in your mouth and you're gonna lay down. So that's being real. That's what they're looking at, And if I'm coaching in that deal, I'm talking to them about, hey man, like we gotta create an identity. Like we gotta come out here and create an identity. Like we gotta come out here and be physical. We gotta get at them, and we gotta go at it. And I think they will do it. Again, like me and you not at practice, we don't know how hard they practice and and how physical they get in practice. But I know we would have been scared to come in today on a Sunday after that. I think it's just creating a killer mentality. They got to understand. And once again, to go back to what I tell you, I said it before. Understand that tradition.
Yeah,
when you understand that tradition, you understand that tradition. It's a reason that, man, we made a room about Jerry Schmidt that we can sit there and talk stories. That's a tradition. That's coming in, man. He wasn't trying to be our friend. He didn't care if we didn't like him. He didn't care. But we knew in the fourth quarter we was gonna be there for each other. And they just gotta start playing for each other, man. They gotta go out there and play for each other, hold each other accountable. Hold each other accountable. Understand, I think they gotta go back. I think offense understands, it's been a dynamic offense for over the years since it's been here. But I think that defense and that secondary guy understand it's always been a physical secondary from back when Switzerland was there. Ricky Dixon would knock your block off and stuff back in that secondary. Linebackers with Bosworth and those guys. Up front, Boo Blake and Ship and all those guys, Tommy Harris, those guys. That's the mentality those guys got to come with, man. And that's something they got to create in practice. And I think you can blame COVID for the numbers and all that, but I think that mentality you build that in the summertime. When you in all season, you build that in the summertime like that. How hard them dudes grind and stuff like that. That mentality is built in the summertime.
As cool as Coach Long was, there would have been a highlight video at offensive meetings before we even started going to meetings. And he would have said, look at this running back just getting annihilated by nobody. Look at da-da-da-da-da right here. And y'all are just blah, blah, blah. Look at this hit right here. We're not doing this. And we clearly didn't. And then, our goal boards. Everybody, they had it all checked out. Did we have 100 knockdowns? Did we have 10 big hits on offense? Did we have a certain amount of broken tackles on the second level? Did we have, and I guarantee you, they didn't have many of those goals marked. It goes back to what you said. Those walls, Jarrail, had legends on them.
Yeah.
And we knew if we checked those boxes, the legends would be proud. If we don't check those boxes, you said it again, man. When you about to play the Kansas State Wildcats, junior college, K-State, huge kids, Tulsa kids that got under-recruited, the Lockett brothers tradition, the kids that are undersized on video that are going to show up and play huge on Saturday. I'm nervous, Jarrail. I'm nervous because just like those championship plays a lot of times are physical plays that come in, and it may just be somebody that you hit and forced a fumble. It may be a defensive tip ball that a receiver that you didn't expect to make the play on. It may be avoiding a targeting, things like that. I worry that our team, the experience going forward, it's going to be a rough. Can they go undefeated? Can they go undefeated throughout this?
Yeah, it's going to be hard now. It's going to all start on Saturday because you're going to Ames now, and don't think Ames. It's hard enough to win there when they got fans, and you going to their place and you reeling, you looking at each other trying to figure out what's going on. We was 35, how we lose. We was up on these guys last year, and they came back with a chance to win. It's one of those deals, man, where they got to come to play because they easily can go 2-0 or they can go 0-2 these next two games, man. Because the next week behind them, they ain't finna feel sorry for you now. Like they ain't finna feel sorry for you whatsoever. So it's like now it's like we not the bully on the block no more. Like Craig already hit us in the mouth now. Man. You know what I'm saying? Craig hit us. Craig hit us last year. Craig hit us last year, and we still reeling off of it. And so now we're in Big 12 play where we supposed to dominate. It ain't the same. We ain't looking at you no more like that. We ain't looking at you as 5 championships that you got on social media all the time. We ain't looking at you like that. We ain't looking at you with the Jordan brand like that. Because once again, you got, if anything, you got that Jordan brand on your chest. That man didn't play like that. That man had a killer mentality too now. So he wouldn't kill too. So now that brand and where you at, you gotta play football. Like I said, they got to just go in and come back with him. Identity. He can lose them. They can go 1-2 ways. He can come back and try to be a hard coach, which I don't know if he is. I don't know if that's his mentality, and lose the team. Or he can come back and rally. I think he'll rally him. And then once again, this is gonna come back to me versus you and versus Iowa State. Me and Iowa State. Ain't nobody. You ain't gonna hit nobody. It's like scrimmage. Me versus you is like we playing at the park. Are you gonna get it done? Can you get yourself motivated to go play Iowa State at Iowa State? Because that's what it's gonna be about. The next time you're probably gonna have a decent amount of fans is when you play Texas. Because I'm pretty sure they're gonna let some fans in that thing. But it's they in a danger zone right now.
You brought it. That was a great point too. K-State, the teams that have been thorns on our side, K-State, Iowa State, Texas Tech, have horrible jerseys. They have horrible jerseys. I mean, kids ain't going there for their jerseys. And how did they pull it together and beat us? Maybe I'll never know.
They just got more physical than us. That's
all.
all.
My God. And what's scary, man, is it's typically teams that aren't blitzing, Jarrail. They got through back there with 3 or 4 a lot. And that's something, it seems like they dropped in zone and we knew where they were going to be. We couldn't get open and scramble drill. We couldn't. I don't know.
It's like I said, you can say it's a young team and all that. I just think, coaches got to, and I know they're getting after them a little bit, but you can't be. I know as a coach, and I know playing, if a team would have went on like a 21-0 run like they did, Bob would have called timeout, brought everybody to the middle of the field, and would have went at you. Period. Point blank. Understand? Hey, this is what expected. Jerry Schmidt would have came through those wherever you was sitting at and got, come on, let's get this gun.
Smelling salts.
Yeah, smelling salts. Like I just didn't see it on the sideline. It started with the sideline. They got to have juice on the sideline. Like I said, we got 8,000 people. We got the little dude running around with the towel, little strength coach running around with the towel, doing all that type of stuff. Go motivate them. Go because you doing good when we doing good. Where you at when things start going down? We need somebody to pick it up. That's where we lacking it. And yeah, it is experience, but that's where those coaches on the sideline, the Roy Mannings and those guys that's on the sideline, that's where you got to step in and really do your best coaching job, is motivating them dudes. Right there and there with stuff going down, motivate those guys. Get those guys going, keep those guys' heads up. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they made some plays, but we could easily stop the bleeding by just playing simple, making some simple routine plays. That's it.
Man, I just, you're right. My thing, and maybe you can tell me, is we've just seemed to transition over the years from a power ISO team to a zone blocking scheme to a counter scheme to now, I don't even know what our best base run is. I don't even know what our best base blocking scheme is. You know what I mean? Maybe it is something off play action. Maybe it is misdirection type stuff. I don't know. But we got to figure out something. And again, I mean, these are issues. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but in the SEC, your ass better have those answers before you go to Athens, Georgia. You better have those answers before you go to Death Valley, the swamp. I mean, we're going to figure them answers out a lot quicker. Am I right?
Yeah. I mean, and I think some of it is, like I said, I think Lincoln's still figuring this team out. Free, limited what they can do in the summertime. A bunch of young guys. So I think the easiest thing to do, is just kind of inside, outside zone with those guys because you don't know what those backs can do yet. I don't know what happened to Majors and all those other guys, but you're still trying to figure out. I think he's still trying to figure out this team, and it's, the pandemic is not helping him because you don't know how many guys are able to practice, how many guys are not able to practice. So I think a lot of it is super young team, still trying to figure it out. No spring ball, limited in the summer workouts, but we Oklahoma. Oklahoma. You should have some stable plays that you should be able to line up and power over somebody. But I think it's a good coaching staff. They'll come together, and they'll get it together. Like I said, a lot of it's a lot going into it. Like I said, spring pandemic, all that. Still trying to understand what these guys can do. Still trying to understand what Spencer can do. Yeah, he was a 5-star kid. That's all. That's different when you get there and start playing Big 12 football. Them dudes around and stuff. It's different when you're a starter than when it is when you just come in and mop up time. You look great in mop up time because second and thirds in there, but now you're a starter. Dudes in the game plan for you. So it's a little bit different. It's a big talent difference from Missouri State to Kansas State. Yeah, they may be without 5 guys. They still have some guys that was on scholarship to get it done. Like I said, a lot of that is just I think those guys Saturday on Kansas State accepted the challenge up and brought it to us up front on both sides of football. That they was down so many guys, and some of it was, man, they got embarrassed too. Now they got embarrassed weeks ago, so they played for some pride, and that's what they did. They came out and they got at us. If I'm Oklahoma, I go in today, I watch it, talk about it. I'm not even sure. I'll talk about it. We get it out on the field, we correct our mistakes, and then we move on to our state. Sometime this week, you got to challenge your players. You got to come out and play Oklahoma football, period.
Man, that's good stuff. Before we get, I got to get your thoughts on what's Iowa State like. Everybody knows about the drop 8 that they typically do. They usually have a good D-line. What do you think about scheming for that? Usually we, have a quarterback that hits them for some big plays. Are they susceptible for deep ball, stuff like that? Let me know. Iowa State going to be Iowa State, going to put that funky defense in the back, which is going to give the young kid a little problem. A little problem. He's gonna have to be accurate in what he do. I think Lincoln will do a good job of just trying to establish the run, getting that off so they can help him. And I think personally we got to test him downfield. We got to throw the ball down the field. See what these guys got. See what Rambo got. See what Weiss got. See what Mims got. And get after those guys. And make plays. Just try to establish and finish the game. Talent wise, we should be able to go out there and get after them and win. On defense side of the ball, those guys got to tackle well. Iowa State going to have a lot of confidence coming in here, going down there, just because of what they did to us last year, coming back. So I think, the linebacker is going to be important with those tight ends getting around and then playing big boy ball. Kid from Jones is out there. Hey, got overlooked. He going to play with a chip on the shoulder a little bit. Kid from Norman North.
I think those guys got to come play football. The coaching staff, I'm not down on them. They do a good job. Like I said, a lot was taken into it, with the pandemic and all that. So I just think they got to go back and figure out what their kids do well and figure out the plays they run well and put those guys in the right situation. And then it comes down to the kids. The kids got to execute. They got to play with some passion. They got to play with some fire and get at it. Because, once again, Iowa State not going to be scared. They're not going to be scared. They're not going to be feeling sorry for it. And if they give OU a second loss in a row, they're going to be all up for it. They're going to be all up for it. So, I think it'll be a great game plan. It'll be a good game. Guys just got to come to play. Got to bring their energy.
Got to get your thoughts on some other schools, man. I know a lot of people are high on our receivers, but good Lord, have you seen Florida's receivers? The Pitts kid is ridiculous.
Hey, I work with Coach Mullen. Hey, those guys do a good job. Now they got some receivers down there that's pretty good, and they get at it now, man. It's some. The SEC got some great. Alabama still got some receivers.
That's why I was going to ask you about the next. The Jalen Waddle kid, man, he looks unguardable.
Here's the thing about Alabama receivers: they translate to the NFL. Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, Henry Ruggs, Jerry Judy, guys transfer well to the NFL. So he just keep getting them there, and now. You Leach in there. He got a good group of receivers too up at that thing. Georgia got a good group of receivers, and it's just something. Those receivers are different than our receivers. And it's just those receivers up there are big physical guys that catch the football. They're gonna try to punish you.
Yeah,
and they can run. We got some guys that can make you miss, and they may dance a little bit. They're gonna go down. They're gonna bounce. But that's just the nature of what we do. Stuff like that. But. There's some receivers out there in this country, man. They got some receiver cores. And you still ain't seen Pac-12 open up yet. You still ain't seen Ohio State guys come out. So, but right now, that best set of receivers, I'm saying, is at Alabama right now.
Really? Is there any other teams that you see SEC wise that you think will surprise anybody? I know there was Auburn.
I think A&M will surprise you. A&M will surprise you. You know, they play just tough football. You know, and you know, Vandy's gonna be all right. They'll go in there and knock out. I'm gonna tell you, a team in the Big 12 now that you don't want to play that look decent is Texas Tech. You know, they're able to score. They got them big, long, lanky receivers.
Basher.
You know, that'll be a good. That's a sleeper team now. Like, they should have won that one. Mm-hmm. You know, they pulled the Atlanta Falcons on you and then get the ball. But you know, but it's gonna be crazy just because of the pandemic and how many games people get to play and stuff like that. Just keeping guys healthy. So it'll be interesting.
Texas is the luckiest damn program ever, bro. I mean, how? I was sitting at Wild Wings watching that junk after I took a little loss to sixth grade. We lost the Oso Pogos team over there. I know you remember that name.
Yeah.
But we held a college quarterbacks team. They beat us by 60 last year. They only beat us by a touchdown this year. Your boys doing work, Jarrail. We doing work.
Hey. I played. We had that's good, man. Y'all keeping it close.
Thank God, but we have the same problem you did, man. We can't block nobody. We just letting people through scot free. I had to use us as a comparison. I'm that hurt, you know. My kids didn't think, "Are you going to come to the game because you lost?" I'm like, man, y'all we better win, and it didn't work. It didn't work.
I just cut my phone off, man. Like, man. I got a dude from Ohio State. I mean, not from Ohio State. He hit me up, Bobby Olive, and then a couple Kstate. All the Lockets hit me up.
Yeah.
And then, Terrence Newman, those guys all hit me up, man. That's rough, man. That's rough. It's rough with Kstate, man. So
it's rough.
Yeah, but I still got faith in them. I think they got to rebound and and go work. Create identity on both sides of football. They'll be all right.
Yeah. All right. Last thing, you're Lincoln. You come in today. What's your speech? What you tell him? What end it with that? Just let me know what he's gonna say to him. Let me know.
Come in. Hey, I'm gonna tell him. Hey, the sun came up this morning. It was shining. Hey, it was shining. Hey, we made some mistakes. We're gonna wash this film. We're gonna once we get done watching it, we're gonna put it to bed. It's over and done with. We made mistakes, correct the mistakes. Hey, but on Tuesday we're gonna come, bring your hard hat. We're gonna get ready to go to work.
Man.
All right, we're gonna go to work. We're gonna, all the little details that we didn't cover, that we let get by the past couple of weeks, we're gonna get back to it. And then we're gonna get back to playing Oklahoma football. I may issue a challenge to both O-line. Hey, O-line, we're gonna run the football. So get it in your mind, we're gonna run the football. So come with the mentality that we're gonna work. D-line, you guys gonna stop it, or you gonna do what you gotta do to I'm gonna issue a challenge to the whole defense, not just D-line. I'm gonna issue a challenge to the whole defense. We're gonna tackle well, we're gonna be what we're supposed to do, we're gonna play assignment football. And then we're gonna go play Oklahoma football. Period. That's probably all I tell them. I wouldn't beat them down, but I let them know, hey, look, this unacceptable.
The kids get Monday off now?
I don't know.
I've heard that, but no, I've heard they come in on Sunday now and then they give them Monday off.
Yes, I know with Leach we came in on Sunday. We came in Sunday night at 10:00, and then we had like Sunday night football, and then they had Monday off.
What's that like?
Coming in at 10:00?
Yeah, that, and then having a Monday off. Shit.
Man, having a Monday for us, it ain't. I mean, you game planning. It's good though. It's good. Like with Leach coming in at 10:00, bring them in at 10 to practice, to do walk. We bring them in at like 2:30. They watch film, and then we bring them back at 10. And the good thing about that is it gave us time to watch film, correct it, get ahead, watch the next week. So when we out there doing corrections, and we able to do a little install because we already watched them. And then Monday it's good. You just in that game plan. You ain't got to worry about you ain't got to worry about nobody with that. So that's pretty. That works. I think it works out better for the kids because it gives them a full day to just do academics. Mm-hmm. So they got nothing. They can just do academics and kind of recover. Kind of, especially if you take that L, you ducking and dodging going to class on a Monday. So I think it kind of gives them that, gives them a chance to get a break and break from your coaches and stuff like that.
Yeah, now that was immediately what I was thinking was one less padded practice, one less day that you got to be around and do all that. And free days were very difficult to come by.
And it's all about how you manage your free days. Some dudes to come in and watch film. We always had a station, and that's how you go know. That's how you know the temperature of your team. Like if you come back on a Monday and you got half the defense in there watching film, then they understand what's going on. But if you got like one or two dudes watching film, like we was at Washington State, we had a quarterback, Connor Holiday. He ain't watching no film. He'll go out there throw for like 800 yards and throw 9 picks, but he ain't watching no film. Like so, and that's something that we had to get corrected. And then kid that watched film, Luke Falk, broke every record because he come watch film, stuff like that. But that Monday is pretty good for him. It's good for the coaches because you ain't really got to deal with them. You ain't got to worry about no meetings. You just watching game plan and get their game plan done. Be good for the week.
Man, that's what's up. Man, they gonna learn a hell of a lot from you, big bro. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
You got a prediction this week? You think they bounce back?
I think they bounce back. I think it'd be a close one, but they'll bounce back. I think they win by I say 38-35. Right. If they lose, now I gotta come on here and put my head down because the next week I can't talk to North Texas now. They go down 0-2.
You know me. All I care about, I just want to see the fullback out there, baby. Let's get it started. Let them know early. We're gonna run it.
That's it.
We're gonna hit them. It translates to the defense. We don't need no fans up there. We need the clackety clack clack. We need to hear that.
That's it.
We need to
That's
hear
all
that.
you need.
And you're a coach, Jarrail. And I tell my kids all the time, there's nothing that brings a team more hype than a big hit.
That's it.
It's not a touchdown.
That's what turned it for them when he smacked McCown. That's the turning point right there.
Real.
That was the turning point.
Real.
Because he hit him when he hit him and he fumbled. That kind of took a blow. That took a blow in our heart right there. And it went down the score like that did it for him.
Real. And a lot of people say when you hit the quarterback, the team feel it, and I believe that shit too.
They was hitting him now. They hit him now. Don't think everybody that watches, they gonna hit him now. They gonna hit him because they know they can't stand up. And that comes with he'll get comfortable the more and more, but the O-line gotta make him feel comfortable. So.
Man, that's real. Well, plan on coming back soon, big brother. It's gonna be an awesome episode of Fullback U.
All right, appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Bet.